Should you build your business under a personal brand or a company brand? I was recently in Los Angeles on my friend Clint's podcast. If you don't know Clint, he was the podcast producer for Sam Ovens. And Clint and I have become really good friends. And when we were talking on his podcast, we talked about this very issue. Should you build this personal brand or should you build this company brand? When you go on YouTube, do you make it under your video names or your personal name, or do you make videos under your company name? And I'm going to show you a clip from that podcast that really gets into that discussion in full detail. So keep watching and enjoy.
I'm not super huge and I wanted to start an info business. Ideally, I would go the organic route and say, I have to brand myself. I have to build my brand to build trust and make people trust enough to spend the money. But like with mastering.com, it's not Blake.
No, I started from the beginning being like, this isn't going to be the Blake show. I did not want to do that. I don't know where that intuition came from, but I just figured mastering.com is bigger than BlakeLagrange.com.
Yeah.
That's it. So I wanted to build something bigger than myself. But everybody says you got to do everything first, build your audience, build your influence. That wasn't the case with me. I had 7 subscribers on YouTube when I sold the business for multi-7 figures.
Wow.
So there's no reason to think that you got to do that.
So how do you get customers?
You build your influence and audience around the brand, not yourself. I'm doing it a little bit differently now, where I'm trying to connect with people just on a personal level, like through YouTube and stuff like that, around myself, but it's still under the college brand name. So I don't know anything else other than to build something under a different brand name. So when it comes to the people who are building their info business around themselves, yeah, your question is good. Like, how do you get out of it? And everybody I talk to who's doing 100K a month, I talked to somebody yesterday that does like 36 million a year or something like that in info. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But he's the guy. He's on camera, he's doing everything, and he's like, how do I get out of it? I never did 36 million a year selling mastering courses, but I certainly know how to get out of that business.
Yeah.
This is really technical. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I definitely do.
I spent tens of thousands of dollars, maybe even more, and like years, maybe like almost 2 years, and all this time trying to find out this answer right here.
Okay? Oh, wow.
So here it is.
This is the jewel. This is the jewel. Yeah.
It's not that crazy. It's if you have an info business and you've centered it around yourself, the first thing you got to do is remove key person risk. In other words, if you die today or die tomorrow, will the business keep running? So a lot of folks in this space say, oh yeah, I don't really work that much on it. Maybe 4 hours a week, whatever. Not good enough. Everything needs to be scraped. Like you can't be in anything. So if you can, but it'll be sold for much less. People who have sold their info businesses, there's only been a few in this space at a really high level. They still had somewhat of an attachment to it, and they will all say that they could have sold it for more if they did that one thing, removed key person risk. So you see guys like Dave Ramsey doing this. It's not Dave Ramsey show. It's like Ramsey Solutions. So it's like, okay, this guy's getting out of his business. I wonder what's going to happen.
Valuetainment doing that.
Yeah, lots of people are doing this. That's the first thing, remove key person risk. So for me, it was, I need to get out of the ads. I need to get out of anything forward facing. I'm not the brand anymore. So I got out of that. And then the next thing was, I need to get out of the operations. So I can't be doing ads. I can't be doing any of that. The next thing was client fulfillment. I need to get out of the Q&As. I need to get out of coaching, all that stuff. The last thing was I need to get out of the content itself, like the actual course that people go through. I need to get out of that. So to this day, like if you go to mastering.com, you won't see me anywhere. Zero. Like I'm not on there at all. There's no like nod to the founder. There's nothing. I am out of it. If you buy the program, I'm not in it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that needs to happen.
So you don't even want to be the CEO.
No, you have to be the CEO until you get to the place where I think I want to sell this.
Got it.
And then you got to like empower all these other people. So like, how do you remove key man risk, right? Or key person risk? Well, there's plenty of ways to not do it. But the way that I did it was our team was brilliant. We hired all from within. So everybody who went through our content, who went through our program, whose life was changed, they were our best hires. Right? We hired from outside and that was good. And I think you probably have to do that once you reach maybe 3 or 4 million a year doing that. But before that, you can hire from within and teach them all these hard skills. Hard, not difficult, but they're like hard and soft skills. Hard skills like copywriting and ads and all that stuff. What we did is we hired from within. They were all just closers, like closing over the phone. That's the main bottleneck for the founder to like get out, is to get off the phone, which is why there's all these offers. Build a sales team, we'll train you, and we'll put you in all this stuff. Because founders just want to get out. That's why. It's not that they want to scale with their sales team and they don't want to be on the phone anymore. It's I want to get out.
Yeah.
That's the pain point. So we did that at first. All these folks like had so many more opinions about my company than I did. and they loved it. And so everybody was 1099, or maybe there was a W-2 here or there. I think everybody was 1099 up to that point. And when we got the word from the bankers to say remove key person risk, the bankers that we hired to try to sell, it was, oh, I need to incentivize this team on a compensation level that is way different than what we're doing now. So I gave them all profit share. And I said, you aren't just closers, you're like owners of this.
Wow.
So somebody was just on the phone closing. Now that person is doing like ads in closing. And there's another person who's like building the new program and closing. Then another person like doing the emails and closing. Then another person doing all the marketing and closing. And now it's, if we have a bad month, we all don't get paid.
Yeah.
If we have a good month, we all get paid. So I said, guys, you got to build a YouTube channel. You got to like redo the course. You got to do all these things. And it's going to be a lot more work than just closing. But the way that I'll compensate you is we'll do profit share. I'm showing you the picture here. If you do all this and we reduce ad spend and we bring up our margins and you attach this profit share to your pay, it's going to be really good. Once they saw it, I knew from that instant that I don't own this company anymore.
Wow.
They were like savage wolves, dude.
Wow.
They just took it and ran with it.
You ended up creating like leaders within the company.
Yeah, and I set the tone. That's why it's important to be the CEO for sure. But they learn by watching. So if you set the tone and lead that way, they'll have these sort of autopilot responses because they've observed you do it. But they bring their own flavor and their story and their life. Stuff that I wouldn't do, but I learned the hard way that you need to lean into that.
Yeah.
Because they know more than you might think. So getting on profit share, I'm telling you, that Zoom meeting, it was like I saw a bunch of ravenous wolves like ready to take the company and go. And I felt scared to death.
What?
Oh, dude, I was like, I don't know what I'm feeling right now, but I don't want to do this.
Scared because it's now not under your control?
Yes, it wasn't under my control. And honestly, those entrepreneurs who say, oh, I'm making this much a month and I only work a couple hours a week, I don't really need to do much, I want on vacation. That's not bragging. That's, you still want to be fully in control in some way and you're unwilling to let go.
Yeah.
And that was the thing I experienced is, oh my gosh, I'm actually letting go.